Nice that you tuned in. Welcome to this video. A small update here on the topic of DR.GLOSSY Dirt Trap, a short compact video. I'll briefly explain to you again what such a dirt trap is actually for. Here we have variant 1 again, which has been proven not to work because from the construction it could never have worked. That's why work has now been done on a V2, which I have already brought with me here. We'll take a detailed look at what has changed there in a moment. And now let's get started. Enjoy. So you immediately have the view from above. And first we'll take a quick look at variant 1 again. You saw here it was a kind of honeycomb structure, open grid. And when the dirt goes down during car washing, these are, for example, small fine sand particles, small fine stones. And if we keep picking them up into the wash mitt fibers and then go over the paint with them, we end up damaging the paint in the long run. And this creates an unnecessarily large number of micro scratches. And visually, the paint also suffers on the surface. That's why there are these dirt traps. They go into the bottom of the bucket and are placed down here holding firmly to the bottom. And here we've already seen, again, the typical problem, the dirt trap is not stable. And the much worse issue is that these chambers down here do not retain the dirt. And JP also mentioned in one of the recent videos that this was never really a topic for him. Feel free to watch it again. And that's why intensive work was done on the topic again. And that's why this part has now come onto the market. And when I looked at this part now, I immediately thought, this could have been done this way from the start. Because if you had looked at the existing dirt traps on the market, like the Cyclone dirt trap, for example, which is available from Chemical Guys. Here you can see exactly now what it's all about. And then we have another model that also works really well, which is the Detail Guards Dirt Lock. You can see here it also has a bit of a premium model. You have this small turbine structure on top, which allows you to nicely rub off the wash mitt. The fibers of the wash mitt are loosened and the dirt falls through. Here you have the 3 grip recesses, 2 and 3. With these you can get in perfectly. This gives you a really nice resistance and allows you to lift them perfectly. And here too, if you had looked at it beforehand, you would have noticed that this funnel structure is also predominant here. That means large openings taper narrowly, downwards. And here at the bottom, the dirt collects in this chamber, seen this way. And the dirt can no longer move from bottom to top. And if we now take a look at the V2 model, you can already see, if you had briefly dealt with it, with the topic, you would have immediately come up with something like this and tried it out properly. And now we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grip recesses. Also here, this tab strongly reminds me of this tab that is installed here so that you can press underneath and then pull up. Exactly the same thing we have here as well. And thus I have a resistance up here and this small tab that I can grip. Inward they have no effect because there is a closed ring here. And on the outside you do have the possibility to press it slightly inward, but that's why you don't have a tab to properly grip. So it doesn't really make sense. Why these tabs were installed here, because you still slip off with your fingers, but you should still be able to get it out because there are enough inside. Still, I can't quite understand it. We'll put this into the wash bucket now. You can see here as well, even if air accumulates underneath, it won't rise to the top. I would still recommend it to you. If you use them, place them this way around, turn them underwater, and then place them at the bottom. And then they won't come up either. Let me take a look here. No, it has a good weight, so it doesn't float to the top. Works perfectly. Now we'll put our decorative sand back in, which I showed you months ago, and let's test it. That's why we're taking a look from the side. Also make sure that the trap is nicely pressed down. And here I need to show you something, specifically with my bucket. Take a look here. Down here the feet are on the ground. But if I turn it, you can see here that the feet are floating in the air. I don't think it's a huge problem, but you can also clearly see from the side that the dirt trap is slightly tilted. I can also take it out again, and now I'll check if it works well. Yes, it works. Now I'll press it down, really firmly, and you can see here. You need to press it down firmly. Okay, now I'll check again if it can be easily removed. And it's really, really stuck in the bucket. Damn. I'll try to wiggle it back and forth a bit. Okay, that works. But I'm really missing the handle here, and it also cuts into your fingers a bit. You see here, that means if you place it in here, just set it down lightly at the bottom, then you always have the point. It's where the dirt trap is floating here. And if you want it to be firmly at the bottom, you need to press it down significantly. This way it really fits in tightly, but it's not so easy to take it out again, as you just saw. These are all the little details that I'm already noticing here. So this is just for your clarification. So, and if we move back and forth now, you can already see here, dirt stays at the bottom. It accumulates a bit next to the trap, but that can't be avoided. But what is floating in the water now are particles that are simply too light. I'm not considering that now, but you can clearly see down here the dirt. It is still being moved around quite a bit. So you can see it again up close. I'm really not moving the glove very much, but you can still see the bottom is still good. Turbulence. But you can clearly see down here how it is arranged in terms of the flow. So despite having quite a bit of movement at the bottom, I must clearly say nothing is coming here. I'm also exaggerating a bit and pressing the water upwards, so to speak, creating a vacuum here. But even then, nothing comes up. So it definitely works reliably now, even though there's still quite a bit going on at the bottom. So from my side, the function is given. The only thing with this version, maybe it's just with my bucket and my trap, because there are always certain manufacturing tolerances. With my trap, it's just that if I really want to clamp it flat on the ground, it's clamped so tightly that I can't get it out of the bucket. No longer. Out of the bucket. Because it's so wedged in. Now on the side, and now even more with this sand. No, unfortunately I can't get it out. I have to empty the bucket. So, and now I can handle it a bit better. But you see here, it is really very, very tight in the bucket. So, I just noticed here, the grip recesses are not well designed. You don't have a really nice grip, especially when the trap is a bit tighter in the bucket. Oh, now. So, the sand wedges it. I'll put it back in again, remove the sand from the side again. So, I'll put it back in again. And here you see it, look. That's what I mean, do you see that? It falls down very easily. And when I take it out now, it works well. If I just put it back in again, but you always see, it always stays tilted. It always stays tilted. Now it's like this. If I want it to be perfectly straight, I have to push it all the way down into the tight space. And that creates so much resistance. This way, everything is relaxed. I place it at the bottom. But here, it is now floating in the air. And if I push it down now, you can already feel how it gets stuck. So, either it's just with my bucket like this, you can write it down below. Now, I definitely noticed that. So, these grip recesses are not well designed. If the dirt trap gets stuck, it's very hard to grip. So, this was a really good opportunity because Stefan is visiting me again today. And he can test it directly again. Because, you know, I don't want to just leave the topic like that. And then it will be said again, yes, it's only like that for you. You want to complain again. I want to see how Stefan manages with it now. But we already looked at it beforehand. He had a really cool idea. Namely, you suggested that one could simply remove the tabs back here. Push them out. Because they effectively have no effect. That means you would actually have to bend them inward or snap them off outward. And then you would get a small hook here. Do you see that? Or a small gripping point. So these parts make no sense at all. He noticed that immediately as well. And now you can put it in. Just normally. So now, before you forcefully push it down, let's take a look here. Exactly the same problem. If you make it completely straight, all the feet are floating in the air. Now please take it out. So, and now, put it back in again and press it all the way down just like you would normally do. So, and now take it out. No chance. And for two reasons. First, it jams extremely. And you have no grip with your fingers. So, and how do you do it now? Take it out?
Push the tabs in, somehow grips or bend the tabs away. Then you have these small hooks here where you can, but then you can't reach it with your thumb anymore over there.
Do you know how you can do it now? You have to turn it to the side once and hit the bottom from underneath so that the trap...
If you have grip here, I can't pull it out anymore. It's so firmly in there that I can't get it out even like this.
We stand to the side and hit towards the ground. Look. It jumps up a bit there. You can really see the resistance. Well, I think it shows it again.
With one hand, that's not going to work.
Yes, and I also find it a bit surprising myself. That's why I watched JP's video again when he introduced the trap. And I noticed that there's exactly one cut when the trap reaches the endpoint at the bottom. And then there's a cut in the video. And then the trap is down there, just placed.
That it's completely sealed.
Why is there a cut at this point, and why can't it just be filmed in one continuous motion, so to speak? Filmed through, because maybe it was precisely at that point that it was noticed that the trap doesn't slide down so nicely and was pushed down. And so that you don't see it, and this is my assumption, I'll say it very clearly, this is an assumption that you don't see that it sticks a bit. Down there, a cut was made, and then suddenly the trap was nicely placed at the bottom. And I believe it wasn't removed afterwards either, which I think would have shown again that it is very, very difficult to remove. That's my assumption, and it's not about portraying this negatively, but simply about finding out if this is only the case with my bucket, or if it applies to others of you as well. And that's why you are welcome to point. Get back to me, because even now, as mentioned in the conclusion, dirt is perfectly retained, it works, but for me, it's currently a processing issue or a tolerance issue with the dimensions of my model. That's why I absolutely need your feedback. Not that someone writes again at this point, yes, you have to find some little thing again, and maybe it's only with your bucket like that. If it's only with my bucket, then that's good, but you've seen several times now, that's the experience I've had. If that's not the case for you and it really slides down perfectly, is it really due to the minimal manufacturing tolerances? But this here, just like the same problem happens in my case here, I can't do anything about that either. I didn't manufacture the items. And I'm not pushing it down now, otherwise I'll pinch my fingers here. So now we've looked at the whole thing. I'm looking forward to your feedback. Until next time, yours, Sebastian. Bye.